While the technology for developing deepfakes is progressing rapidly, you can actually buy apps and do it, I'm told. Are there technologies which you have asked the social media to provide to detect deepfakes? Which is, you immediately know that...
and this is one of the characteristics of technology in general, Raj, which is that you will have innovation and there will be harms out of the innovation, and then the technology to police the harms of the innovation will be the next innovation. So this is always playing lead and catch up. It is true for the last 20 years, it's going to be true for the next decade. The difference in this case is that AI is today exponentially growing in terms of its impact at a rate that nobody has anticipated, that the impact will be so deep, so widespread, and its application will be so easily possible, is all something that people are all, in a sense, caught unawares by the pace at which this is going. So I think the platforms are also very clearly working frantically to play catch up with their own technology, with their own tools. I heard recently Microsoft offer to the US government and the US political class that they have tools that can prevent deepfakes impacting the US election. So they are obviously playing catch up, and Microsoft is interesting because they are on both sides of this. They are OpenAI, that is the ChatGPT sponsor, as well as creating tools for dealing with deepfakes. So I think, look, we will work with these platforms and we will certainly make it very clear to echo and amplify PM's message that this is an issue that cannot be dealt with in a lethargic manner. We have to have a sense of urgency, we have to have a sense of purpose, and we have a sense of real clear outcomes in terms of what technology, what tools will be deployed, and what the regulatory framework of accountability will be. That all of that should become very clear in the coming weeks, hopefully.
What is your understanding of the pace of technology towards actually detecting deepfakes?
I think a lot of work is already going into it. I know that many of the underlying companies that create video editing suites, the Adobes of the world, a lot of these companies are also developing their own solutions to prevent easy deepfaking, and on the event you can deepfake, to be able to identify and detect deepfakes.
I'm told they're losing the race in the sense the number of apps that are doing deepfakes versus the number that could actually detect.
That is always the nature of this beast of technology, Raj. It will always be innovation. Then some people will figure out how to create harm and criminality from the innovation. We saw that in blockchain. Blockchain was supposed to be a distributed ledger, and suddenly we had crypto and money laundering coming out of it. And then governments caught up, technology caught up, came down on it, and we put the brakes on that. So it'll be almost similar cycles that we can anticipate for the next decade. Today it is AI, tomorrow it will be something else. But having clarity in the government about what we expect from the platforms that occupy the Indian internet is a very important starting point, and that we have.
And that clarity you're telling them?
Absolutely, we are telling them. We have the laws in place, we have the rules in place. We have absolutely no hesitation in invoking Rule 7 and the withdrawal of safe harbor, and we will certainly expose more and more platforms to being prosecuted in the court of law by the citizens who are aggrieved, and we will certainly use the safe harbor to protect our citizens very judiciously. That message has gone, will be re-amplified on the 24th when I meet with these platforms. But the technology race to catch up, to inhibit the deepfake creation momentum, as well as to be able to detect deepfakes, is a work in progress, and we will see soon. I am very confident that we will see soon. I have already met 3 or 4 startups working in India who are working on some very, very nifty ideas on how to detect deepfakes. So we have not been defeated so far by the big techs. We'll certainly not be defeated by the deepfakes.
No, the other point was, I think the Prime Minister also mentioned, is labeling.
Yes.
That is, when we do a Photoshop in, say, in a magazine or this thing, we say it is a Photoshop. Is there a way of bringing that into the...
See, Raj, there is an interesting problem that platforms will now have to solve. Right. Because what the Prime Minister said is absolutely right, and it has to be done. Now, the problem with these platforms is they have enjoyed almost a perfect storm of being unaccountable. One is the safe harbor, and the second, interestingly, is that they allow anonymous use of their platforms. They say that we are not responsible, but at the same time allow anonymous use of the platform. Now, if I'm a platform and I have somebody who's determined to do a deepfake, I'm certainly not leaving my signature at the end of it like Da Vinci on Mona Lisa.
Right.
So he's going to do the deepfake. He wants to weaponize this deepfake. He is allowed by the platform to anonymously use the platform, and he will post that deepfake, and the impact that will go viral, create the havoc. And before these IT rules of this government, the case was that the platforms would say, no, but I'm immune.
Right.
But who has done this? But he's anonymous. So it was like a very interesting place where the cyberspace and the internet were, where laws could not reach and bad behavior would have no consequences. That has been changed. We are saying bad conduct, bad actors will have consequences. Deepfakes certainly characterize or qualify as being an extremely visible way of demonstrating bad conduct and bad actors.
So, in some ways, bringing some rules to clarify that when you manipulate a video, you will
Raj,
mention.
I think it is something that platforms will now automatically start having to do, because it's a choice that they will have. Either they will get prosecuted for the deepfakes, or they will put into place a system of doing more due diligence of who are their users.
Right.
And if they do due diligence on the users and say, as terms of service, we mandate you that when you do a modified video, you label it. If they don't do that, then it is their neck on the line.
Right,
So, because
you can get prosecuted
exactly.
for it.
So
Yeah.
it is really, we are in a sense through our rules and laws incentivizing good behavior, good conduct on part of the platforms, and hopefully making and urging and nudging these platforms to ensuring that they are able to track what their users do and are able to label and flag bad conduct by their users. Currently, it's a free-for-all. They enjoy all the revenues, they enjoy the scale and size, and they believe that they don't have any accountability. That since 2021 has been very systematically altered.